So let's talk about your latest recording and what is it and when will it be available?
So the latest recording that I did with Marcel's help is piano music by the Scottish composer Ronald Stevenson. Ronald Stevenson lived from 1928 to 2015. He was one of Scotland's premier composer pianists, very much of the golden age of piano playing. His playing it's just absolutely phenomenal. It really, really was. And it was very much in the manner of the golden age pianists who lived from the mid 19th century through till about, well, they sort of the 1950s to the 1960s and later. Sort of Ronald was almost born about 50 or 60 years too late. He was part of that tradition but displaced somewhat. Um, so his musicianship was very much akin to the likes of Paderewski, Rachmaninoff, Pachman, Joseph Hoffman, all of those great pianists of that era. He was a very prolific composer as well, very eclectic composer. He was greatly inspired by the music of Ferruccio Busoni, again by Paderewski, the composer side of Paderewski, Scottish folk music, Percy Grainger, indigenous music from all around the world, and a lot of various different modern things, although there were some modern by his standards, I mean, so mid-20th century. There was a lot of mid-20th century modernism, which he absolutely hated. He just wouldn't have anything to do with it. But that's another matter. He was a real cultural polymath. He loved poetry. He had friendships with some of the leading literary lights in Scottish letters and internationally too. Great sort of friendship with Hugh MacDiarmid, the Scottish poet, and of course lots and lots of musicians of the time as well. He was a real champion for the musical underdog, or composers who he believed were not being given the attention they deserved. So this CD that's just come out is volume 7 in the ongoing series of Ronald Stevenson piano music recordings issued by Toccata Classics. It's all been solo piano music up until this volume 7, where there have been 3 works where there's been a second pianist called for, hence Marcel's involvement. And it's a tribute, it's a homage to Percy Grainger. So there's a lot of adaptations and transcriptions of folk songs from Scotland, England and Ireland. There are some original compositions too, but the main thrust of the program is really sort of British folk song. So the pieces which Marcel has joined me in there's an Irish folk song suite, so there's a collection of 4 pieces on various Irish folk songs, which I believe are fairly well known. There's a Chinese folk song suite, which is quite short, only 2 pieces. Both of these suites are piano duets, so 4 hands at 1 piano. And then there's the Jamboree for Grainger, which is the 2 piano piece, which we had fun and games with, didn't we? So that was done on 2 pianos, 4 hands on 2 pianos, which was a lot of fun. A real sort of mashup of some very well-known themes by Percy Grainger, including English Country Garden, of course. So that's a lot of fun. It comes out on the 17th of January. You can preview it at the moment on the Toccata Classics webpage, the relevant webpage on their website. And for those of you living in Scotland or who are inclined to go on the internet and listen, it will be on Classics Unwrapped on Sunday afternoon, the 12th of January. I really should have checked the time that the program starts before this interview, but I'm sure it's easy to find. So yes, this 12th of January, you'll hear some highlights. They're going to be playing about 4 or 5 pieces from it, which will be really fantastic.
Thank you very much for sharing your insights and expertise today. Your advice is inspiring and greatly appreciated. Thank you, Chris.
Thank you, Marcel. It's been a pleasure.